Unscripted, unfiltered, unafraid. Welcome to the Macworld podcast. My name is Michael Simon, and I'm joined by Jason Cross.
Good morning.
And our producer, Roman Loyola.
Ahoy there.
This is podcast number 952. And as you probably guessed, we're going to share our thoughts on all the new iPhones that we've been playing around with for the last, what's it been, about a week? A little less than a week? A couple days.
Couple days, yeah.
We're going to, a couple days. And we'll have a couple segments at the end. Worst thing that happened this week in Apple history. And as always, we'll close with our reader mailbag. Speaking of that, you can contact us through Blue Sky Facebook or Threads. Search for Macworld and look for the blue mouse logo. We don't have a dedicated podcast email, but you can email me at Michael_Simon@foundryco.com. Tell us about the new iPhone you got. Tell us why you didn't buy one, what you like, what you don't like, you returned it, broke it, whatever. And we'll rummage through all those, talk about the most interesting ones next week.
Hey, Mike, before we talk about iPhones, I want to talk about how I hijacked the Full Nerd podcast yesterday. Our sister publication, PC World, has a podcast called The Full Nerd, and I was on the pre-show. So before they actually started the show.
They're live, right? They're like totally live.
They have a live stream. And so we were encouraging people to come check out our podcast. So if you're a Full Nerd viewer, listener, and checking us out, hey, welcome. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
in fact, if you are a Full Nerd listener, we could talk about PC stuff for a couple minutes. So over the weekend, I talked last week that it was my son's birthday. And so in addition to the iPhone 17, he's a pretty lucky kid, I guess. In addition to an iPhone 17, I also got him so he's been collecting like PC parts. He wanted to build his first PC. He's big into gaming. And, obviously the Mac is just worthless for that stuff. If you're into anything but like, I don't know, a game that came out 3 years ago, like you need a PC. So he's been collecting parts for probably about 6 months now, and I got him the case, the final thing. It's Jason, you probably know what it's a NZXT. It has like a glass front. It's nice. So we on Friday night we watched Linus Tech Tips' big exhaustive how to build a PC video. We watched it through, and then we watched it again, and we slowly built it. And I got to say, I was nervous because I literally had never done it before, but it's not nearly as daunting and overwhelming as you would think. There's a lot of cables and a lot of things, but if you take your time, it was fun. It was rewarding. It looks great. He's thrilled.
Yeah, all the core components of putting together a desktop PC, they kind of only go in one place, one way, right? Like it's not that, sometimes you're a little nervous about like, am I supposed to push this hard, to snap it in? But like, other than that, you can't really just like do it all wrong and break everything.
Right. You get like feedback from the motherboard, from the slots where it's like, no, this is totally wrong. Yeah.
And most things are keyed so they can only go in the correct orientation. You can't put it in upside down or have your processor turned. The pins won't line up. Like they only go one way. Like putting the cooler on is one of those nervous moments because there's some pressure there and stuff, but everything is like slotted and keyed and stuff to go a certain way, and it will be okay. The hardest part, honestly, is dealing with like if you've got a bunch of there's going to be power cables.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of that stuff because there's a power cable going to everything. There's like two going to the motherboard and all this other stuff, and it's where the connections are not where your power supply is. So they're like running all over the place, and you kind of just want to plug everything in and make sure it works. Right. And then it's time to like, okay, well now let's make it neat. And that's the part, like getting all the RGB light cables all tucked away, getting everything tucked away behind the backside of your motherboard, like all that kind of stuff. That's what takes time and gets really fiddly and all that other stuff. But just getting it together and getting it working, it ain't that bad.
Yeah, all the cable management stuff, he wanted no part of that. He was helpful through all of it, putting the graphics card in and everything. And as soon as he's like, all right, well, let's turn it on. I'm like, I can't yet. Like, it's a mess. Like, we have to kind of, if you have a glass cover, like, you want to make it look nice. He's like, all right, well, you could do that. So I spent like a half hour fixing all the cables. But yeah, it looks really cool. He has what is it? A RTX 5070 Ti. Is that a card, Jason? That's for, yeah. So that's the one, not like the top one, but a really nice graphics card. And
that's still a $800 graphics card.
Yeah,
it
was
right? it
was pricey, and he's getting like 700 frames per second in Fortnite, and he's thrilled. And so
you cannot tell the difference between 200 and 700 frames. But it's
I got to tell you,
when he wants to play Cyberpunk or something like that, something really, or anything really kind of high end, it's going to be no problem.
Yeah, this will be, I told him, this is yours for like through college. Like, you're not getting a new one for a while. But I got to say,
what grade is he in?
He's in 8th grade, so he's got 4 years off of school.
He was absolutely not going to last him through college. You're lucky if it gets him through high school, but that's it's a good rate.
After when we were all done and we turned it on, of course it didn't work at first. So we had to take out the little CMOS battery, reset it, and put it back in. But it worked, and all the lights are going. And I was a little jealous. I was like, I don't get this as on my Mac. Like, Macs are great, but there's nothing that's comparable at all to this experience. For one, like, building it and feeling a sense of accomplishment, like, you don't get that, and just like the whole. Like, it's just a different experience. So I have a new appreciation for that stuff.
I can understand why they've made it so that you don't need to tinker, but it kind of annoys me that Apple has made their computers so that you can't tinker. Like, there's just no. Right. That was one of my favorite things.
Not even on the Mac Pro. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I grew up an Apple II kid. Like, and it was designed, even compared to contemporary computers of its time, like an IBM PC or something, to be really easy to pop the top. Yep. And you could add in your 80 column card, or you would buy DRAM chips individually and like roll the pins and like slot them in and stuff and all that kind of stuff. Like, but you were meant to be able to do that. Like, you were meant to be able to add what they called a Mockingbird, was like a sound card and stuff they had at the time. Like, there were things, and that's because at the time computers were like a hobbyist thing. So they built a computer to be better for hobbyists. But it is kind of annoying that even something like a Mac Studio or Mac Pro or something like that, they're so locked down now, and everything is so integrated, and there's a point to it. That's not for nothing, but it's a shame that you can't just do something like your son in 3 years can go get another GPU. Right. Like, whenever everything's running too slow now, I only get 300 frames a second in the new update of Fortnite. and he can just go buy a graphics card and like get another couple of years out of his machine without having to replace all the other parts and stuff. Like, you can do that you can't do that kind of thing with Macs and stuff anymore. It's kind of a drag.
It is. Yeah. And, we spent a little bit of money on gathering all the parts, but if you're buying a Mac Pro, which is the comparable thing, kind of, it's still not even close. Like, that's $6,000. Like, I didn't spend anywhere near that. No, it's the price you spend, especially building your own PC, but even just on a pre-built sort of full desktop PC, it's like, you've noticed, I'm sure, it's going to be much bigger and much louder and all that. But yeah. All right, Roman's telling us that we're talking too long about PCs. So sorry, full nerd people. We're going to get into iPhone talk now. All right, so it's Wednesday, September 24th. And I think we all got our iPhones on. I got mine on Friday. You guys got yours on Saturday. So we've had enough time now to play with them. I got the Air. Roman has the Pro, and Jason has the Air and the 17. So we're all represented here. So let's start with the new thing. and also I'm talking, so I'll talk about the one I know. The Air. I got to tell you, and I'll get your impressions first. Yeah, so Jason's holding it up for the people who are listening.
Oh, it's so skinny.
When I took it out of the box, it was like, wow. Like the first time I felt that way since like the iPhone 6, where it really felt like a shocking design, shocking thinness, shocking lightness, where, like the iPhones they're great. The 16, the 15, the 14, like they're all very fantastic phones. This one's different. And like I said, the iPhone 6 is my comparison. Jason, when you've been using it for a couple of days, like if you were buying one, would you buy the Air? Because I did. I actually used my own money. They did.
I have such mixed feelings.
Okay.
Because there's the couple things I really love about it. Like everybody's focused on how thin and light it is, and honestly, like it's not that much lighter than the regular 17. But
I mean,
it's bigger.
It's noticeable.
Right.
It's like when I went back to my 16 Plus, which is bigger, and it's noticeably heavier.
Than a 16 Plus, yes.
Yeah.
It is not much lighter than, say, the regular size, regular iPhones, not the Plus, not the big boys. But because it's larger and thinner, how it feels in your hand, the specs don't really get across this, how it feels, right? Because of its size and its balance and stuff. And they changed the edges and everything. Like the edges are not just that they're made out of titanium, but the curve of them and all that other stuff. So it's how it feels in the hand is a little more shocking than everyone's seen a million pictures and videos and all this other stuff. And they're like, oh, we get it. It's super skinny. It's like, yeah, but when you hold it, you're like, oh, wow, we are really getting close to that thing they keep talking about the phone disappearing in your hand. Like, I don't think it does, but I think we're starting to feel that way. But the thing that hits me most about it is that this is the Goldilocks size for me.
Sure.
I find regular iPhones and iPhone Pros that the 6.3, 6.2 inch size or whatever, like that's the size that's good for your pocket. It's good to hold in one hand, but it's also too small to be good for watching video or playing games or like, hey, even reading stuff with my old eyes. Like there's limits. But the Pluses and the Pro Max are the 6.9s, the 6.79, when they're huge. You put them in your pocket, they're weighing it down. It feels ridiculous. You have to use it with two hands. I have big hands and I can't use it one-handed. So.
Yeah, my last two were a Plus and a Pro Max.
Yeah.
16 Plus, 15 Pro Max. And they're
like you
big.
love the screen size, but the size of the phone is just like awkward. Like this is a two-hand object now, right? This is just the right size where it's noticeably bigger than the regular size phones. It clearly looks a lot better to watch video and play games or read long articles, anything like that on this screen size. It gives you that feeling that the large ones did, but it's much easier to hold in one hand. When you put it in your pocket, it fits easier. It doesn't weigh down your pocket, all that other kind of stuff. So this is the size that I want.
Yeah,
regardless. This is it.
That's part of like the whole optical illusion thing of the Air, like because the size, it feels like a Plus, it looks like a Plus, but it is a touch smaller than the Plus. The bezels are thinner. So you're getting like even that's a bit of an optical illusion. So it like when I use it, like I don't feel like I'm using a smaller phone, but Jason's right. It's a little bit smaller than the iPhone 16 Plus was.
It's not just like an academic amount smarter. Like it's only on paper. If you lined them up, if you put a regular, the Air, and the Plus there, the Air would be like right in the middle. It's right in the middle. Exactly split the difference in terms of like the size, the physical size of this phone. So yeah, that to me is the thing I really love. But I'm already missing my ultra wide camera. Like I've already tried to take an up close photo of something several times and it couldn't grab focus because it can't do macro. And I'm like, I guess I'll back up and zoom in. That's not what I want. It's not going to be as sharp,
Yep.
So
I mean, there's a lot of reports that this is the kind of precursor to the folding phone.
Right.
The folding phone has to have that second camera, at least, I believe.
Yeah, I think some of what they put in the quote plateau here can be in the other half of the folding phone and leave room for another lens here.
Right.
Because if they could make this plateau 2 lenses tall, like the Pro Max or something, but then it's not really it really doesn't feel like a thin phone. If it's that big of a
well, I mean, so part of that
third of it is this plateau. You can't do that.
So what Jason's talking about is that little bit at the top, because it's so high up and so thin. Yeah. When you're holding it, or when I'm holding it, like, so with the 16 with the Pro Max, like my finger when I was holding it would kind of rest against the camera. Well, we didn't call it a plateau then, but the little camera bit.
Yeah.
Like my hand never comes anywhere near the camera on the air, so that like the trick of it being 5.5 millimeters, yet there's this big plateau thing. Like when you're holding it, when you're using it, the whole phone feels like it's 5.5 millimeters because you never your hand never runs up against
6.5.
No,
I thought it was 6.5.
No, whatever. That's crazy. It's 5. No, it's 5. Come on, Roman. Look at that. Look that up and tell Jason that he's wrong. Well, whatever the thickness is, 5.6, 5.5, 6. Whatever it is, like your mind thinks that the whole phone's that, because when you hold it, like your hand doesn't even know the camera's there.
Yeah, and you never bump into it. You never touch it. You never, yeah.
If you look at a phone like the Pixel, who also has that camera bar, the camera bar is much lower. And I wondered why Apple, I thought maybe it was just for like cosmetics, but I think they did it so you can always feel that thinness and not ever because if you touch it, it changes the perception of the phone.
Yeah, for sure. I am noticing the difference in audio with just the earpiece speaker.
Yeah.
It's not like I listen to music on my phone, but even just watching little videos and stuff, I'm like, it's kind of tinny. It's kind of
a little bit. I agree.
Yeah.
When I compared it to the 16 Plus, and it's noticeable if you listen to music and movies without any kind of a speaker or earpiece, especially at higher volumes, you're gonna know, you're gonna see it, you're gonna feel it, you're gonna hear it. It's just that's just the way it is. That's been a thing on social media that people have kind of latched onto. And listen, if that's something that you do, I would say that it's probably a deal breaker, because I did notice.
Yeah, it's noticeable. Even just like watching a little TikTok video or something like that.
Right.
Like you're going to hear it. You're going to hear the difference. It's a little too early days for me to really kind of. I mean, I've done benchmarks and battery benchmarks and stuff, but it's a little too early days for me to be sure about this. But I think the battery life is going to kind of be a problem, in that it seems so far, now that I've had the phone for a few days and it's settled down, that it makes it through the day, but just.
Right.
And
I have the same experience.
And that's going to be a real problem when the phone's a year or two old. Like
maybe, yeah.
Like it is, when this phone has been discharged, 400 times, it's not going to make it through the day. And that's to me the biggest worry, isn't that it doesn't make it through the day. It's that like it's got no margin. And so as soon as your battery life starts getting shorter just from the battery aging, I'm a little worried about that. So I don't know if I would buy one. Honestly, this year, if I was spending my money, I would get the regular one. And I'm usually a pro user, but I would get the regular one.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about the regular one. Just real quick about the battery. So yesterday I took a 5-hour sojourn in the middle of my day and went to a festival near my house because my son was off from school. And I used the phone pretty heavily while I was there. Came home, didn't plug it in. And by the time I went to sleep at around whatever it was, 11 o'clock or so, it was like at 3%. That usually a day like that with the Plus, I was at 18%. So it's a good battery. Like it's not a bad one. It's not like you're going to have to be rushing to charge it at like 6 o'clock. But Jason's right. Over time, as the battery degrades,
right,
you're probably going to have to charge it at some point during the day.
Yeah, you want some headroom on, that it makes it through the day with 20% left, because then when your phone's 3 years old, it still makes it through the day. Barely, but it still makes it through the day. And this one's not. And for $1,000 phone, I'll worry about that.
It's funny. You can go.
No, but
I was going to change topics. So if you have something to say about the Air, you can.
I was moving on to this regular iPhone 17. I think the battery life is going to be better.
So my son got the 17. I've said it a few times. We both got it together, and we opened the box, and he looked at the Air, and he's like, wow, that's so cool. He's like, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't get you this one because the battery life is going to be less. And he literally said to me, he's like, you paid more for a phone that doesn't last as long.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I didn't really have an answer for that because I did.
Right.
And like,
because
like you have to want the design of the Air.
Yes.
Otherwise,
more than you want certain other things. Yeah.
Right.
And
there's literally no other reason to get it.
And the regular, in our sort of battery rundown benchmark tests, which are not regular use, they're a benchmark and stuff, like the regular 17 lasted almost 25% longer than the Air. Like,
oh, wow.
Like it's
that's a lot.
Basically
that's a lot.
Like 1,050 minutes versus 880 minutes. So, to 20 to 25% longer. But no, the regular iPhone 17, we have in the past say, oh, it's more pro than ever. Like
right.
it's what
I think we literally wrote that headline one year.
Yeah, got it. I wish we could have saved it for this year because it is so close to the Pro.
Yeah,
like what I would be giving up is the telephoto.
That's
like
it.
I do not need
really
this super fancy video recording
right. log
stuff that's like for pro video movie makers and stuff. And other than that, what am I it's slower. Like the A19 isn't the A19 Pro, but they're all so fast you cannot notice.
Yeah.
Like it's still faster than last year's Pro. Like it's not.
Right.
It has the good screen now.
Yep.
No, like
it's identical. They didn't.
Yeah.
It even has the glare resistance. Like they didn't.
Has the glare resistance.
If you look at the tech specs, all the phones have the exact same.
Right. Goes to 3,000 nits in the sun. Yeah. It has the new ceramic shield 2 and all that stuff. It's lighter. The Pro is now aluminum as well. So if you really cared about titanium, you don't get that. So really, all you
do get it in the Air a little bit. It's like an alloy.
Right. No, I mean the regular versus the Pro.
Right.
Like we're talking about how pro it is. I'm like. It's that telephoto camera is like all you give up.
Yeah, it's hard to convince someone to spend an extra $300 unless they are like a super duper photographer, and if they are, there's not even a choice because you're like, well, I want the Pro.
And they even
Apple made the decision very simple.
And they even gave it 256 gigs to start without like it being that trick where they actually just eliminated the cheapest model. They didn't raise the price.
Right.
So there was a rumor going around that, or a leak or whatever you want to call it, that Apple has contacted sort of its suppliers and it's to boost production of the regular iPhone 17 because people are leaning toward that versus the Pro this fall. This kind of thing happens every fall. Like after they start getting pre-orders and stuff, they adjust supply, but they're adjusting supply in direction of the regular 17. I honestly. I get it. Like,
yeah. I don't know why they wouldn't have done that to start with. Like, they must have known, that this is going to be. So, for one, the Pro is more expensive than last year, and for two, the regular one isn't. So, it's a $300 difference between the two phones, and as Jason says, all you're really getting, other than the a different design, a nicer design, if a newer design rather, they're almost identical.
I've got to wonder if the A19 Pro chip has 12 gigs, the regular A19 has 8. Right. I wonder if there is a scenario in a software update coming in the spring or whatever where while this is still the current phone, if there's going to be some software update where it's like, no, but this thing is just for pros,
Sure.
and the Air, the Pro and the Air,
Yeah.
because they need the RAM. But for what we've got right now, it's really hard to recommend somebody spend that much more for literally just the telephoto camera, unless you're like a pro video recorder and you're like, no, I do the log and I want the gen lock. And
if that's the case, then there's no, like, you already know before Apple even announces it that's the phone you're getting.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, as far as the other cameras, they're the same. The front camera is the same, and the wide angle and the ultra wide, they're both 48 megapixel. They're not even degraded. It's the same camera, except you're getting that extra one on the Pro Max. Screen's the same, battery life. I assume Roman could talk about that, but I assume they're close, other than the Pro Max, which will obviously be longer. But I assume the 17 and the 17 Pro is going to be pretty similar battery life. They're about the same weight, the same dimensions. Screen is identical. I mean, it's the same. It's funny on the screen. Let me just a quick aside. Back when I was testing to see if I wanted to get the iPhone 16 Plus, I turned off the ProMotion display. Essentially, like, you can limit your screen to 60 hertz. So I wanted to test it for a couple of weeks to see if, like, am I really going to miss this that much? And after the first couple of days, I got used to it. I said, okay, I can deal with the Plus for a year. Mm-hmm. So when I upgraded the Air, when I restored it from my backup, it still had that setting on from a year ago, because I never turned it on because I never used it. And I'm using the Air. I'm like, this feels like my old phone. I'm like, there's nothing like what's the big deal? And then I remembered, so I turned it off, and it was like a world of difference. The ProMotion display is like one of the unsung things that Apple does with this stuff. Like, it's so much better when you, like, their 60 hertz displays are and were whatever good. They're fine. But when you go from 60 to 120, that adaptive refresh with ProMotion, man, it's so much better. And the fact that they have it on all three phones, particularly the iPhone 17, now the base one, it's overdue. But thank you, because that shouldn't be a feature that's reserved for $1,100 phones.
It's not just the sort of faster, faster refresh that matters a lot, but being able to go real low.
Right.
Just that it's a variable refresh means that, like, when you're watching a 30 frames per second movie or a 24 frames per second, movie or video, full screen, it's going to drop to that. When it's sitting idle, it's going to drop to 1. There's a battery life component to ProMotion. Like, ProMotion.
Right. Plus, you get the always on display, which is nice. Like, all of it is just great.
Yep. I mean, ProMotion boosts battery life because it's not just running 120 all the time. It's running 120 when you scroll, and then it quickly drops back down the second the screen stops, and it saves battery that way. So,
right.
Yep.
So, Jason, if you were buying a phone, you would buy the 17.
I think I would buy the 17. It's because, again, the only I like the size of the Air. There's no Plus. There's no 17 Plus this year, so I can't get the bigger size, but get my wide angle camera back and my battery life back and my 2 speakers back. And the Pros are way expensive, and just for the telephoto lens, like, I feel like that much money, I could just do my. It's got the 2x crop zoom thing, and then digital zoom beyond that. As often as I use zoom, I use the ultra wide a lot more, just because getting up close to something small to take pictures of it, like that.
Yeah, the macro stuff.
The macro makes a bigger difference to me than any of that. So
I'm not a photography person, but is there a way? I'm just really asking this to anybody who might know. Could Apple at some point through software enable macro photography with a single lens, or do you have to have the double things working together?
They can't do it through software on, like, any of the phones they have, because it's just like a sort of a physical geometry of light thing where the minimal focal distance of the lenses on their, like, standard camera is something like 18 inches or something like that. So it just literally, the light can't focus less than that. Like, there's no software magic for that. There is stuff like, there's these, like, folding, there's this idea of, like, they have like a prism, and sensor over to the side, and you could do telephoto. You could like actually slide like you would on a camera. You know how you like turn the thing like a DSLR camera, you turn it and it actually moves the lenses. Like there's some idea that like you could do that geometrically sideways in the phone with like prisms and stuff like that. So they could have one lens that literally zooms, like optically actually zooms, like the actual focal length changes inside the phone. That requires a bunch of precise mechanical stuff that may not be good for vibration and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Right.
I suppose there's a reason they keep like, oh, we'll put a whole other camera sensor and lens system and everything in there instead of some mechanical moving parts.
Right. So it's not like portrait mode where they could figure it out software.
Right. Yeah, you can blur sharp stuff, but taking something that's just never been in focus and creating the detail that was never there. I mean, there's some AI stuff where you could fake it, but it would be wrong. It would just be just making up details that don't exist. And
like that Samsung moon shot that they
and the moon shot works because the moon always looks the same.
Right. You're right.
Like you can fake that because the size
we know what it looks like. Right.
We know what and it always looks the same to us. Like, so with the light at this certain size, it always looks like, the moon.
So what color did you get in yours, Jason?
They sent me the sort of whitish one for the Air.
Is that the blue? So is that blue or is that actually white? So I think I'm looking at it. I think that's blue because mine's blue too, and it's not really blue. It's white.
Yeah,
it's like the lightest blue. It makes the MacBook Air look dark blue. Like it's
and it's nothing like. I'm going to show you like here's an AirPods case, which is Apple's white. So and you can see blue. Now it looks blue, right? Yeah. Right. So it's that super pale blue, which is practically white. It's a cloud, is what it is. And then it's that the iPhone 17 is that purple periwinkle-ish like light
lavender. I think they call it. Yeah.
Yeah, all the colors would not be the color I would choose personally, but they're fine. I mean, the colors are what they are. A lot of people put cases on them.
Not the Air. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they're not gonna sell very many Air cases because it kind of like, what's the point if you're gonna put a case on it? Just get the 17.
I wonder about the bumper.
Like you need to feel maybe the bumper. Yep.
Yeah.
But I've been using this now for 5 days, 6 days, and I don't baby my phones at all. I never put a case on it. I don't put a screen protector. I don't have a single scratch on this thing. Yeah. Nothing. And I've looked like I try to inspect, like nothing. The scratch resistance is fantastic.
Yeah, our good buddy Jerry Rig Everything put his video up where he tortured the iPhone 17 Air, and just the takeaway from that and sort of the other durability tests is that not only is it like the durability is not really a problem, it's actually it's honestly one of the most durable phones of any kind. Like the scratch resistance on the screen actually is better. Like Mo's 7 really wasn't even visible. Like a -8 on the Mo's scale. Like that's like probably 2 better than the last glass. And nobody's able to crack this thing.
It needed like 240 pounds of pressure to crack it.
Yeah, it's just something.
Apple wasn't messing around when they said,
they
"Go
were
ahead, try to break it,"
which is impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
So but it's not like, oh, it's durable for being so thin. No, it's durable for any phone. Like it's things are awesome.
Right. So yeah, I think you can safely walk around without a case for all the phones, but particularly the Air. Because A, it just feels nice, and B, like you're defeating the purpose by putting really even a bumper. Like you're just it just kind of takes away from the coolness of it. But I do wish the colors were darker. I didn't get the black one because I didn't really want black, but they do make it black. All the other ones are like white gold, and this very very light blue. But I'm gonna steal a transition that Roman would have had. The iPhone 17 Pro has the most ridiculously garish color Apple has ever come out with, but which I would have bought if I was getting the Pro. I would have bought the cosmic orange color because I like bright things. Yeah, Roman's holding it up now. All right, so let's start there, Roman. Like, what do you think of the new design with that like MagSafe plate, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So I should go on record. I like this orange color.
Yeah. Good.
I do have an orange car. It's not as orange as this. Some people actually
you have the Mustang, the electric Mustang, right?
Yeah, I have a Mustang Mach-E, and they call it cyber orange, but people
I wouldn't have pegged you for an orange car driver.
So yeah, but people see it and often think it's yellow. So that's how much orange it is. It is oranges, but it's not like this as Jason put it.
This one's orange. Yeah.
It's safety orange.
Yeah,
and
there's no mistaking. Yeah.
But I like it. And I have not scratched it yet. I have seen pictures online of people saying that they've kind of had scratches around the plateau. Mm-hmm. I haven't experienced that yet.
Okay.
If I will, I don't know. And I don't even know if those pictures are real, to be honest.
Sure.
But I haven't scratched it yet. But I like this finish. I like this color. Mm-hmm. The plateau is gigantic.
Yeah.
And
sure.
I understand why it's there. So I'm writing the review, and I went on this tangent. And I ended up deleting it because it was like, this has nothing to do with the review. But I'm like, how long have we had smartphones now? And, how far are we from having, not having a camera bump anymore on any phone, whether it's an iPhone or anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're going the opposite direction.
Yeah, we're further than ever. Yeah.
We're going the opposite direction. We're getting bigger, and maybe it's just pure physics. Maybe it's just, Jason was talking about it before. Right. Maybe we just can't. Maybe we'll always have to have a camera bump of some sort. But I never thought it would get bigger like this.
Part of it is that, even on some of the older thin phones, the camera was flush, or earlier iPhones. Right. But the camera sensor in that was so tiny, and that's a physics light thing where in order to get coverage through the lens of the camera sensor, the bigger the camera sensor, the more distance you need between the lens and the sensor. So it needs to be thicker where the camera is. And they've just reached the limit of how good cameras can be at a size that tiny. So they've had to make the sensors bigger. So it needs to be more distance between the lens and the sensor in order to get coverage, in order to make the light spread out, Yep. I mean, they have these wacky 6-element lenses that really spread out the light and everything, and it still just needs to be a few millimeters thicker. Yeah. So I think this is what we got.
We started the show talking about the iPhone 6, the iPhone 6S. I'm sure you guys remember that was the first. The iPhone 6X Plus, I think, was the first to have a camera bump. It was the tiniest, teensiest, and
it was like a ring around the
right. It was so small, and people went out of their minds.
Yeah, it didn't lay flat on.
Now look like it. Now with like Roman said, it's on the iPhone Air, it's like double the size of the phone.
Yeah. So, and the way they market this phone and where it's geared at, it's the funny thing is, we used to think Pro was just meant a step up from the standard phone. Now it's Pro with a capital P. It's
capital P-R-O if you look at Apple's marketing.
All caps.
True. Right.
They're yelling it at you.
It's meant to be a production phone.
Yeah, it really
is. If you're into video or audio production or whatever, that's what it's meant for. Because if you look at the camera specs, like you guys are saying, the regular phone is fine for a lot of people. But, for instance, do I really need 120 frame per second for 4K Dolby Vision video? Do I need it?
Yeah. With H-Log Gamma and Genlog with 6 other phones to synchronize recording. No.
Right. Right. So it really is becoming a smaller audience that they're aiming for. And Apple, I think, is okay with that. I think
so too. It was clearly a choice. Yeah.
Yeah. And, they go all out in their marketing of it to kind of demonstrate that this is a high-end phone. And
and it's right. if you like like what we were just talking about, like if you want one.
Yeah.
If you have to ask, you really don't, honestly. If you have to say, well, do I? Then you probably don't, because get the 17 or the Air, probably the 17.
So I have kind of a different perspective on this phone because I'm coming from an iPhone 16 Plus.
Yep.
And the one thing that
the Pro or the Pro Max? Sorry,
the Pro Max. I do have the Pro Max. So it's the biggest phone.
Yep.
I think it might be Apple's biggest phone ever.
Probably.
I think it is. Yeah,
because it's thicker.
Yeah.
So
it's thicker. And the one thing that was apparent to me while using the 16 Plus is the way I shoot photos. So I'm kind of the unofficial family documentarian. And the way I shoot photos is I try not to be intrusive. So I didn't realize this, but I rely on Zoom a lot.
Okay.
Because I don't want to put myself into the situation of what's in front of me, and I want to take the picture or video, whatever. And the limitations of the 16 Plus became very apparent to me while I'm taking these pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
So then the other day when I went out and shot photos with the 17 Pro Max, I was like, oh my, it was like, whoa! It was like, I had reached nirvana because not like I was using Dolby Vision and stuff like that, but the zoom capabilities of this camera is something that I take advantage of. Maybe not everyone wouldn't, but I would because of the way I shoot photos.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's just to say I love this phone. This phone.
Okay, good.
So I didn't realize how much. Not that I didn't like the 16 Plus, but I learned a lesson about how I do things based on these two phones.
Yeah, I learned I didn't like my 16 Plus either by using the Air. So apparently that phone wasn't good.
Yeah, and just things like, you guys are also stepping up to promotion and brighter display and stuff like that, which now the regular one gets as well. But, to Roman's point, no zoom lens. It's 2x optical with a crop, and then it's just sort of digital after that. And
it's an expensive phone. So, there's a price to pay for this phone. I was really impressed. So in terms of like battery life, it's hard to be impressed when it's lasts all day and you're kind of used to that. It was more impressive when I did the benchmark, because the benchmark, it ran like 27 hours on a charge. I was sitting there going, is this still going?
You can power your car with the iPhone Pro Max.
Yeah, and I kept rubbing my eyes going, is this real? And then I saw the size of the battery, and I was kind of, okay, it kind of makes sense then.
We've been asking Apple to put a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in a phone for a long time because other Android phones have had one for years. But we also knew that once they did, it would last like a week. They optimized the hell out of these things. So I don't know. Is there larger batteries down the road? I don't know. But it's if you want a phone that lasts and you literally never have to worry about it.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah, and as I've mentioned on the show before, I play Pokemon Go, and that kills your battery.
Oh yeah,
sure.
So this is going to be a godsend for me. Because I don't have to worry about charging it at least for another year or so. Or
there's a Tim Cook tweet today about Pikachu. You should go check it out. I think he was in Japan or something. Let me just quickly correct myself before I forget. The iPhone 6 was the first iPhone with a camera bulge, not the iPhone 6S. I was wrong.
Okay. But that pretty much sums up my experience with the iPhone 17 Pro Max. It's kind of the ultimate iPhone in kind of like. So
orange good, zoom good, design good,
battery life good.
I just put it on the.
But it's also a big honking phone.
The TechWoven case on it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it looks nice.
Yeah. Do you guys have the TechWoven cases?
No. I didn't. Well, I didn't buy a case for mine. Jason probably has something.
Sorry, the
your
recording keeps freezing.
That's weird.
Every few seconds. I don't know why.
I'm not seeing that.
It's probably on my end. It's probably
okay.
It could be my wife's uploading something or something like that.
47. I don't know. Okay.
I know.
No, I need to note that and let Alex and Alex can check that out. Okay.
Cases. They sent the bumper and the clear case and stuff, but I'm going caseless right now. I usually do during the review period as I use the phone kind of like longer and stuff. I'm going to take a closer look at the strap and everything as we coming in the coming days.
Yeah, I've only been using this TechWoven case for a couple days.
Is it orange? Like, it looked like it kind of matched.
It kind of matches. It's not really orange. It's more. I forgot what the name. I think it's called
burnt orange.
Yeah, I think it's called sienna, like burnt sienna. Yeah. It's not really a case that I would normally get. I'm not into these kind of textured cases. I rather just get a silicone case and keep it simple.
I got my son the Beats case. It's nice. It's really nice. The texture on it's nice. The fit is good. It's the black one, but like the buttons are like green, so there's like a little bit of a character to it. It's nice. They'll never understand for the life of me why Apple decides this is Beats and this is not. But it's a good case. It was $80 through Apple. I think I got it for $60 on Amazon. A little pricey, but good.
Cool.
All right. So what's our verdict here? Everyone should get the iPhone 17. No one should get the Air, and a couple people should get the Pro.
I'm not ready to make a decision on the Air yet.
I'm happy.
Time.
I'm happy.
But for me, there's a Venn diagram of like who it's for, right?
Yeah,
that
sure.
There's just not a ton of overlap. Like you have to be casual enough to not care about that much battery life or the extra cameras or like the speaker. But you also have to be like in the market for $1,000 phone.
Yeah, right.
Like that prioritizes style. Yeah, I don't know. It's just such a weird, like you have to be casual, but not like,
right.
Yeah. I don't know what to make about it. Like,
if it was $899, that would be maybe a different recommendation, but it is $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, everyone has trade-ins and deals and whatever else, but it's a more expensive, $200 more than the regular Pro. And as my son says, than the regular phone. And as my son says, you're paying for less battery life. Yeah,
you're paying for less
battery life, less camera, and
less phone, which is good.
right.
Like it's less. You're paying for less.
That's true.
And Pro Max, like unless you just want the biggest phone. Like it's hard. It's go Pro Max, but it's hard. It's hard to recommend the Pro. Also, the Venn diagram is pretty small for like someone who really needs the Pro over the regular 17 this year, like because the 17 just got so good. So the 17 seems like the big winner to me. That just seems like
When we were watching the event, we all thought the same thing too. Mm-hmm. All right, so these reviews will be up. I don't know when. Maybe this week, probably next week. Yeah. Definitely next week. I'm not exactly sure of the timing. Perhaps as you listen to this, there'll be one up, but I don't think so because that's tomorrow. But anyway, whatever. They'll be up soon. And we'll have way more in depth about what we think, benchmarks, testing, photos, all that stuff. So stay tuned for that. All right. So let's look at the worst thing that happened this week in Apple land. This is kind of a very nebulous section because I'm never really sure what we're going to talk about as far as like nothing bad really happens to Apple or within Apple, but
no, it's not.
Yeah, like we always have to kind of squeeze it into this box, but I'm going to talk about, so as expected, all these YouTubers and influencers got their hands on the phone last week and they immediately destroyed them. Like there's so many videos of iPhone Pros getting thrown off of buildings and taking a hammer to the air and everything else. And listen, it's fun to watch. it gets to a point, and it's just, like it's so much waste, and just some like people doing things just for clicks and for attention.
Right.
And these phones are expensive. Like there are people starving in the world, and we're busting up $1,000 phones to get a couple of views. It saddens me.
It feels like it was more than the usual release this time because people were so curious about the air and the durability of something so thin, and stuff like that. So, and people went out and bought all $1,000 phones and then smashed them up. Support went out for all the iPhone Airs.
Yeah, and we reached this era
so that a YouTuber could get some more clicks.
We're on this era of social media where, like, if something gets attention, something, whether it's a video or a meme, there's like 10,000 copycats because they're all trying to get to kind of like build off of that success. So like before the iPhone, on Twitter or Instagram, wherever, like everyone was like, "Oh, look, I just got my new iPhone 16. Are you happy for?" Like, all right, that joke is over. Like people buying them like a week before the iPhone event, like, "Oh, I don't know that there's an event next week." There's like hundreds of those, and now everything is like, "Look, at my iPhone's all scratched up." They're going to the Apple store and people are scratching them. It's like, come on, like this is just wasteful and it's juvenile, and I
will separate those out from the things like. Jerry Rig Everything, who's my favorite of these, but there's some others.
His thing. Yes.
Sure, but there's some other, and there are some others and stuff too who do what I would call durability testing,
right?
Like real.
If
testing.
you're doing it for academic reasons and for research, that's totally different.
They're doing like a consistent set of real tests with metrics and to determine durability versus other things, and they've done it with so many things that they've built up a lot of expertise in it. And this is a valuable piece of information to know how durable something is. It's not just for clicks. They get plenty of views doing it, but it's not like I spent $1,000 because I want to go viral. Like that wasn't the thing. So yeah, there's a lot more. I spent $1,000 trying to go viral. This time around.
I saw a video where a person literally bought I think it was an iPhone Pro. I don't remember. They show them coming out of the Apple store with the box, and they put the box under the tire of their car and they drive over it. It's like, what are we doing?
That's and that's an old one. That was just when everything like you could go really viral with a really short video and get some kickback money and stuff like that. People were doing that. They would come out of the Apple store with like their iPhone and just instantly destroy it. Like on camera, like without even using it ever, just deliberately like, watch me destroy this iPhone. Like you weren't even trying to like do durability testing. They were just like, look what I just did. You can't get the new iPhone and I just destroyed it. Like that was the thing. Like, so you're right. That's a bad thing that happened this week.
I don't, I don't like it.
I have a different bad thing that happened. There's an Apple TV Plus show that was supposed to come out this Friday called The Savant.
Yes. This just happened today, actually, or yesterday.
They just kind of announced it today because everyone noticed. Yesterday, they kind of delayed the show yesterday. They just changed the date. It did say like September 26th, and now it just said coming at a future date.
Right.
So I think this is more of a mini series. I don't think this is like meant to be like a multi-year thing. I don't know. It's the first series. It's never been out. But the whole point of it, the whole story is about this woman who's like sort of a amateur investigator who starts working together with law enforcement and stuff to infiltrate online hate groups and try and like solve crimes and prevent crimes before they happen, that kind of stuff. Obviously, we don't know the whole details of the plot, but given that that's what it's about, and there has been that very public sort of Charlie Kirk murder and stuff, like Apple just delayed it. And Jessica Chastain came out with a statement and said, like, look, I love my partnership with Apple. They've been great, but we're not in agreement on this. So like now more than ever, like this kind of stories useful. Did you hear my doorbell?
Yeah, I did.
Mike and I could probably do the rest of the show because it's just Apple history and Mailbag left, so we can probably just do the rest of it.
So like Chastain's reaction is very much like what an actress should say in these instances. And I'm not like, it's sucky that we're here, but I totally understand Apple's like stance here. Like they just had the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing, and that was a 4-day whirlwind against Disney and ABC, and people canceled subscriptions. And like, it's just like, it's best to take a step back, whether it's 2 weeks or 2 months or whatever it is. Like, no one's going to be clamoring for whatever this show is. Like, it might be great, I don't know, but it's not something that was heavily promoted and there was a countdown, or like, it's just another Apple TV show. It can air in, October or November or whatever. Give it a little bit of space, particularly if it's, I don't know what the show is, but if it does kind of mirror what Charlie Kirk, like what happened, and maybe someone gets killed. I don't know. Like, you don't want to also show that. I remember, I don't know if you remember, Roman, that remember the show 24 with Kiefer Sutherland way back.
Yeah,
there was so on September on 9/11, there was supposed to be an episode that aired either that night or the next night, where one of the terrorists on that show like blew up an airplane, and they like either I don't know if they took that episode out or they took that part out or something happened,
right?
Where they, like, there are times when I know art is art and people believe in their art and art doesn't imitate life and all that stuff, but there are times when you just want to, let things just sit.
Yeah.
You don't need to stir the pot just because.
Yeah. And timing is important. Timing is important. So art is important. Timing is important. So,
and Apple's not a creative studio. They are, but there are also a lot of other things. So in this instance, I'm sure that Tim Cook and company are happy to take the heat. I'm sure they're happy to let Jessica Chastain say, "Hey, look, I don't agree with this." I think that's great. Like, bring attention to her and leave her out of it. But we're also going to make this decision. Like, I get it, but it just sucks that like this is like the reality of the world now. Politics rules everything.
Yeah,
and you just had to be sensitive to all of it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into something happier. This week in Apple history. What do you got, Roman?
So this week in Apple history, on September 18th, on September 18th, 2013, Apple released iOS 7. And if people don't remember iOS 7...
Everybody remembers iOS 7.
Yeah. So this is... And it's kind of timely because Apple released iOS 26 with the whole liquid glass thing, the whole language, interface language redesign. And Apple, this isn't the first time they did it. This isn't the first time they've done it. The first time they did it was with iOS 7. And that's when skeuomorphism basically died.
Yeah. I'm going to say that iOS 7 transition was way more shocking than the iOS 26 one.
Well, the funny thing is, so in retrospect, I keep trying to think, why was it so shocking? Because
of this, the skeuomorphism, like all of our icons were like digital versions of the real life, like the notes was a notepad, the books was a bookshelf,
and
it became like a digital thing. It looked dramatically different. When you went from iOS 5 to iOS 6, it was like, whoa, what happened? All these cool little things that I liked are gone. Plus, there was a bunch of other changes. Aside from the look, there was all these features. The settings was different. The control panel didn't exist. Now it does. Like, everything was all over the place. Like, it was complete change.
Well, I think the thing is, because for me, skeuomorphism, I always felt was sort of lazy design.
Sure, a little bit.
Let's make our address book look like an address book. A leather-bound address book.
It was nice.
On a computer, it looked nice, and the fact that they were able to pull it off nicely on a computer screen was impressive. But I always kind of went, I'm on a computer. Let's use a UI that's optimized that way.
I think it was important at the start to kind of ease people into the digital world.
Yes.
Like look, it's just like your notepad. Look, it's just like your address book. And then basically with iOS 7, they're like, all right, enough of that. We're just going to, this is your phone now, and this is how it's going to look. And they kept, so iOS 7 stuck around for, what, 10 years. So my guess is iOS 26 is going to be here till, what year are we in? So 2035. So we'll get the new one. iOS 36 will be the change.
Yeah.
But I remember I was freelancing. In fact, you might have been there. I was freelancing for Mac Life when iOS 7 came out.
2030.
And I don't know if I worked for you or Susie Oakes or Florence Ian. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Maybe John. I don't remember who I was working for. But I wrote so they had a beta test, and I wrote like a slideshow of, I think it was like 80 or maybe it was 70 because it was iOS 7. I was big into like that stuff. So I think I wrote 70 changes for iOS 7 or something like that. And it got so much traffic, it briefly brought the site down. I couldn't have been more excited. Like, it was the first article. Like, I didn't get anything for that because I was a freelancer, so I just got my whatever $300, whatever they pay me. But like, I was like, it was like the first article that I ever wrote that like really got like a ton of attention. So I was happy.
I think I had left by then. I think I went.
Okay.
I think by then.
Were you at Macworld or Mac?
Then I joined Macworld at
Macworld.
Around that time, if I remember right. If my time, it's been a long time, so I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I think by then I may have been at Macworld. So, but yeah, skeuomorphism. That was a long time ago.
I don't think that'll ever be back. I know things like
cyclical.
Come and go. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Especially because, there's a generational factor involved. Mm-hmm. So, like your son won't make doesn't make that association. If anything, if it came back, he'd probably be like, what is that?
Right.
So why did they do that? So it would be, there are, there'll be apps that, use it as a retro thing.
Maybe.
But I don't think we're not seeing it in terms of a system-wide comeback. Mm-hmm. No, we're not going to see that again. So if you yearn for your leather-bound contact address book, you're going to have to find a different.
And linen, the linen backdrop on the notifications.
Yes.
It was nice. I do like, though, I like liquid glass a lot, and I think that people, once they get used to it, like, they'll appreciate just how like remarkably designed it is, like how it interacts with all the elements and the light and stuff. Like, it's really nice.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole different discussion, but I think there might be a different, the appreciation for liquid glass might change once Apple Vision Pro becomes more mature. So,
sure. And also, the folding iPhone and everything else. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I'm sure there are iOS 26 comments in our reader mailbag.
Yes. So we have a lot of comments based about the new iPhones in our mailbag this week.
Cool.
So Jeff Henry on Blue Sky, in response to the concerns over the iPhone's battery life, which you guys talked about, he said battery life has become an amusing subject for him. My first cell phone was a Samsung flip phone that had a battery life that lasted over a week when new.
Yeah. It also didn't do anything, but okay.
Yeah.
all you could do is make calls. I mean, sure.
My 13 Mini supposedly had a compromised battery life when it still lasted up to 2 days, like every smartphone.
Wait, he got 2 days off the Mini?
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
He's not using it as much as I was.
Yeah.
I had a 13 Mini as well, and no way did that thing last 2 days.
Brady P. Snyder, in response to the idea that the iPhone Air requires the customer to make sacrifices, he said on Threads, it doesn't require you to do anything. There are 3 other traditional iPhones in the lineup. If you want a thicker phone with more features, this is an option for people who value thin and lightweight products. So I think, people kind of forget that there are choices. They nitpick over the iPhone Air, and then you kind of go, well, there are other phones in the lineup. So if that's not for you.
Speaking from myself, like, I'm totally that market. I happily bought it just for the design, and I like it.
Yeah. Our final mailbag post is from Nugent Jeep 45 on deciding on what iPhone to buy. They posted on TikTok. I've always been a Pro Max guy and have owned several. This is the first year I will get the base model 17. When you do the compare iPhone models on Apple, the features are literally almost exactly as the Pro, and totally not worth going with the Pro for the average person, in my opinion. Yeah, we kind of said that during the podcast today.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of people that, quote unquote, downgrade from the Pro to the standard. I wonder if Apple's, they don't tell us average selling price anymore, but they used to, and I wonder if that's going to go down a tick. But then again, you have the $1,000 Air, which is more than the Plus, so they probably won't. They're doing just fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they've done some math to figure out that a dip in Mac sales is offset by Air sales, and that'll help maintain their average sales price.
I also wonder if they're going to get a bunch more switchers, because like all of the things that Android people used to knock the iPhone for, like they're all gone now. The screen, the storage, the battery life. The camera's now 48 megapixels on both for the base. You get the always on display. There's not a lot that you can get in a comparably priced Android phone. So I wonder if they're gonna 25% more. So like he'll talk about it at their next earnings report,
right?
Which is probably coming up soon. Yeah. But I wonder.
So that wraps up the Macworld podcast mailbag.
And I guess that wraps up the show, huh?
Hey, we got under we got under an hour and a half this time.
Good. Yeah, well, they should be shorter. If you've listened this far. Next week I'll be even shorter, because we're going to run out of things to talk about pretty soon. All right, so that does it for this episode of the Macworld Podcast, episode number 952. Thank you. Thanks to Jason Cross, thanks to Roman Loyola, and thanks to you, the audience, for tuning in, especially if you came from the Big Nerd. Sorry, regular Macworld Podcast.
Full nerd.
Listeners. What did I say?
You said the Big Nerd.
Oh, jeez. now they're never going to come back. Oh, my goodness. The full nerd. Thank you for however many of you there are. Thank you. And thanks to our regular listeners, of course, as well. I'm only kidding. You can subscribe to the Macworld Podcast in the podcast app, on Spotify, on YouTube, at the Macworld Podcast channel, or through any other podcast app. Comments or questions, contact us through Blue Sky, Facebook, Threads, email me. Search for Macworld, look for the blue mouse logo, send us your thoughts, and we will talk about them next week. Join us in the next episode of the Macworld Podcast as we talk about the latest in the world of Apple. See you next time.